Giving money and power to government is like giving whiskey and car keys to teenage boys. Once you've built the big machinery of political power, remember you won't always be the one to run it. Hubris is one of the great renewable resources. The two most frightening words in Washington are bipartisan consensus. Bipartisan consensus is when my doctor and my lawyer agree with my wife that I need help. If you think health care is expensive now, just wait till it's free. A hat should be taken off when you greet a lady and left off for the rest of your life. Nothing looks more stupid than a hat. Politics is a necessary evil, or a necessary annoyance, a necessary conundrum. Earnestness is stupidity sent to college. Some people have facts. These can be proven. Some people have theories. These can be disproven. But people with opinions are mindless and have their minds made up about it. More modern poetry is written than read. Guns are the ultimate bulwark against government misbehavior. Soccer matches should be something special, something people eagerly look forward to, something that brightens life. Making fun of born-again Christians is like hunting dairy cows with a high-powered rifle and scope. The most brilliant satire of all time was A Modest Proposal by Jonathan Swift. You'll notice how everything got straightened out in Ireland within days of that coming out. Ending wars is very simple if you surrender. Wealth is not a pizza, where if I have too many slices you have to eat the Domino's box. I am unborable in the great outdoors. In the Soviet Union, no industry went under until they all did. Always read something that will make you look good if you die in the middle of it. Cleanliness becomes more important when guidelines is unlikely. When buying and selling are controlled by legislation, the first things to be bought and sold are legislators. If you are young and you drink a great deal, it will spoil your health, slow your mind, and make you fat. In other words, turn you into an adult. Everybody knows how to raise children, except the people who have them. Russians not only vehemently despise blacks, they believe Africa begins at the Ukraine border. Never wear anything that panics the cat. There is only one basic human right, the right to do as you damn well please. And with it comes the only basic human duty, the duty to take the consequences. Political leaders are expert at saying nothing. Term limits aren't enough. We need jail. The best and brightest don't go into politics. The best and brightest are at Goldman Sachs. Every vote should carry a serial number so that responsibility for harmful or careless use of the vote can be traced. Concealed voting should be outlawed. Politics is the attempt to achieve power and prestige without merit. What would annoy the most people most often? That is the true left-wing test of government intervention. A penny will not buy a penny postcard or a penny whistle or a single piece of penny candy. It will not even, if you're managing the U.S. Mint, buy a penny. You know your children are growing up when they stop asking you where they came from and refuse to tell you where they're going. In theory, taxes should be like shopping. What I buy is government services. What I pay are my taxes. The 20th century was a testbed for big ideas: fascism, communism, the atomic bomb. Family love is messy, clinging, and of an annoying and repetitive pattern, like bad wallpaper. The mystery of government is not how Washington works, but how to make it stop. We Americans, who invented traffic, are always being startled by the forms into which it has evolved around the world. Simply because something is a populist movement doesn't make it either good or bad. Because of their size, parents may be difficult to discipline properly. Adam Smith is misread as being amoral precisely because people don't read his first book, because they don't read the theory of moral sentiments. You can't get rid of poverty by giving people money. Humans are the only animals that have children on purpose, with the exception of guppies, who like to eat theirs. Globalization is simply opening the free marketplace to encompass the entire world. Liberals have invented whole college majors: psychology, sociology, and women's studies to prove that nothing is anybody's fault. Little islands of human happiness, peace, and prosperity are so exceptional at this point in history that I'm not even sure we can draw lessons from them. Will Generation X and the millennials do a better job running the world than the boomers have? Let's hope so. Distracting a politician from governing is like distracting a bear from eating your baby. Barack Obama is more irritating than the other nuisances on the left. All change is bad, but sometimes it has to be done. Politicians are wonderful people as long as they stay away from things they don't understand, such as working for a living. The purpose of sports, even foreign sports, is not to bore people. Seriousness is stupidity sent to college. The French are a smallish, monkey-looking bunch and not dressed any better, on average, than the citizens of Baltimore. Don't send funny greeting cards on birthdays or at Christmas. Save them for funerals, when their cheery effect is needed. Gay marriage acceptance is happening in the blink of an eye. I believe in God. God created the world. Liberals consider people to be nuisances. Staying married may have long-term benefits. You can elicit much more sympathy from friends over a bad marriage than you ever can from a good divorce. There are two factors in American politics that may seem strange to Europeans: race and religion. I usually agree with Rush Limbaugh, therefore I usually don't listen to him. I like making things. I have a wood shop at home. I am a terrible carpenter, but I love doing it. People love to be told what they know already. Never be unfaithful to a lover, except with your wife. Ideology, politics, and journalism, which luxuriate in failure, are impotent in the face of hope and joy. I'm old enough to remember when the air over American cities was a lot dirtier than it is now. Let's reintroduce corporal punishment in the schools and use it on the teachers. Everybody in the Middle East wants to explain why they're right. Now, do I think the baby boomers tend to be self-absorbed? I do. The whole idea of our government is this: if enough people get together and act in concert, they can take something and not pay for it. All previous populist movements were demanding things from governments, whereas the Tea Party is saying, "Give us less, go away." That's heartening to see. Woodstock had a tremendous impact on American artistic life. Abstract anger is great for rhetorical carrying on. You can go on endlessly about the post office, but it doesn't mean you're mad at your mailman. It's better to make fun of yourself because you've always got someone around to make fun of, and they can't sue you. We need a government, alas, because of the nature of humans. There are 1.3 billion people in China, and they all want a Buick. The good thing about SUVs is they have storage. Thank you, Occupy Wall Street. With your vivid example of anti-capitalist squalor, I've been able to convince all 3 of my children to become investment bankers. Nobody likes insurance companies, especially health insurance companies. Southern California is a nice place if you could cut out the show business cancer. It just keeps spreading. Are you a Democrat because you're a union member? Then why, after 8 years of Bill Clinton, does some Chinese guy in Guangdong province have your job? The good news is that, according to the Obama administration, the rich will pay for everything. The bad news is that, according to the Obama administration, you're rich. If government were a product, selling it would be illegal. Nobody is making Americans buy Chinese goods. I'm not a tech-savvy parent. I communicate with my children via the old media format called yelling. The 1960s was an era of big thoughts, and yet, amazingly, each of these thoughts could fit on a t-shirt. When a lights see a homeless person in the gutter, they assume he's saving a parking place. In Toledo, people grow out to the suburbs, out to the parts of America where the economy is more vigorous, and all too often, out to 48-inch waistbands. Feeling good about the government is like looking on the bright side of any catastrophe. When you quit looking on the bright side, the catastrophe is still there. What Enron was doing, what caused investors to embrace it in a rapture of baffled awe, was hiding debt. If death weren't around to finalize the Darwinian process, we'd all still be amoebas. Not much was really invented during the Renaissance, if you don't count modern civilization. When you're a war correspondent, the reader is for you because the reader is saying, "Gee, I wouldn't want to be doing that." They're on your side. You're not a baby boomer if you don't have a visceral recollection of a Kennedy and a King assassination, a Beatles breakup, a U.S. defeat in Vietnam, and Watergate. My dad died when I was young. My mom remarried with more haste than sense to a fellow. He wasn't evil or anything, but he was worthless. The idea of capitalism is not just success, but also the failure that allows success to happen. Fortunately, I'm married to someone who's a pretty excellent parent. Democrats hate America being a world power because world power gives power to the nation instead of to Democrats. The idea of a world where all people are alike in wealth or in anything else is a fantasy for the stupid. Infant mortality and life expectancy are reasonable indicators of general well-being in a society. Rich people don't like to be in the military. The shoes are ugly and the uniforms itch. Rich people don't go in much for revolution or terrorism either. In 13 years, every aspect of the universe can change. Ask a 13-year-old. There is the love and marriage and family kind of happiness, which is exceedingly boring to describe, but nonetheless is important to have and dreadful not to have. Until I carried my wife off to New Hampshire, she defined wilderness as the Bronx. Governments have monopolies on certain things, like eminent domain and deadly force. China is trying to become America without democracy, while America is trying to become France without cheese calories. Detroit is beautiful, though you probably have to be a child of the industrial Midwest, like me, to see it.